Happy Wednesday. Welcome in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. I've been trying to figure out who this is. I have no idea who Andy is choosing. I'm like, is it on theme? Is it Shalimar, Howard Hewitt? Is Shalimar? Okay, I knew that was Howard Hewitt singing lead, but I was like, I'm not sure. It's just good vibes on a Wednesday. Okay, shout out to that. Well, you were locked in with Jill Munroe, here to get your trending topics and headlines on KBLA Talk 1580. And tonight, as always, we got a whole lot to get into. So I hope you have your snacks, your libations, because we got all the facts with a little bit of flavor sprinkled in. Tonight, we are talking honorary Oscars. Somebody's getting one next year. $250 million lawsuits. A little bit about that. A little bit. And, of course, the end of an LA empire as we know it. We're going to get into all of those details. Oh, and by the way, I told you guys I'd be back with more things. And I have things to give away tonight. I have a pair of tickets to the Hollywood Bowl, July 2nd through 4th, to see the elements. I'm talking earth, wind, and fire. A pair of tickets to give away. So, ladies, get your dialing fingers ready. Something, because a lot of y'all have been slacking just a bit on getting through to these phone lines. So we'll be giving those away later. But before we get into all of that, let's talk about, like I mentioned, someone getting an honorary Oscar this year. So at the Oscars later this year, at the Governor's Award, alongside Tom Cruise and Dolly Parton, the icon, Debbie Allen, will be receiving an honorary Oscar. I think it is long overdue. Debbie is someone that has inspired me since I was a kid, since I saw her in Fame tap that cane on the wooden dance floor and say, "You want fame? Well, fame costs." Right here is where you start paying for it in sweat. We know that she has been amazing to the Los Angeles community through her Dada Debbie Allen Dance Academy that has remained in the city in various points throughout its 20 plus year existence, right? We already know she's an icon on stage, film, TV, in front of and behind the scenes as a director, a producer, a choreographer, just an icon. Her sister, obviously, the two of them, Houston's own Howard University, and of course, royalty of Hollywood. So I am so excited for her to be honored and get her flowers. I think it is long overdue. We're getting all up in the business because it is Wednesday and we got Damon Haley in the building. DH, you look like you got a little something you want to add.
She's a mother and a wife too.
How could I leave that out? Last and certainly not least, a mother and a wife, from an era where hardcore, her man, listen, you talk about basketball wives, right? And Miss Debbie Allen, we don't even get into her true surname, Debbie Allen Nixon, right? Norm Nixon, he of the world champion Los Angeles Lakers, also spent time with the Clippers and some other teams around here, a legend in his own right, still on the air as a broadcaster on ABC. You could probably catch him during the post show throughout these finals right here. And like I said, I talk about people who make a legacy in the community through Dada, both of them.
And Norm was recognized by LA Urban League at their 50-year anniversary gala as well, along with Jennifer Lewis last week. So power couple,
man,
like stealth power couple that we don't hear about in LA, in Hollywood, in sports. So shout out to Debbie.
Right. Shout out to them. Shout out to her. And, extended fruit from the tree. Their children together. Their daughter is an accomplished dancer, choreographer. I believe she's also doing a bit of acting. Obviously, their younger son is a comedian and an actor as well. Norm's oldest son, we know that he was featured on Winning Time as Norm. So just an ultimate talented family. And who, loves and supports the Black community and gives back in all ways. So that's what we need. We need more of that. When we come forward, we're going to get into all of these trending topics and headlines. Plus, of course, it's all up in the business Wednesday. So we have Damon Haley in the building. So we're going to get into some things about our Lakers.
Thanks.
All that and more on the other side. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You ready?
Somebody make some noise in this joint.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates its 4th anniversary this year on Juneteenth.
Here we go again. Holla.
Hard to believe 4 years has gone by so fast.
Oh my God.
But here we are, still standing, still loving and serving our people as best we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To celebrate our 4th anniversary, we have 4 big events, and you're invited to all of them.
She got a lot to say.
Let's do this.
Let's get it on.
On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the 2nd consecutive year with our Climate Justice plus Black Health Symposium. Tavis Smiley will moderate an all-star panel of thinkers and influencers as we continue our vitally important climate justice work.
Hey, Tavis Smiley, talk about.
On Thursday, June 19th, you're invited to join us as we celebrate Juneteenth and our 4th anniversary. There will be plenty of food, fun, great music, good vibes, and all of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts will be there.
Yeah, man.
Flip the beat. On Saturday, June 21st, there are 2 big events you're invited to attend.
I can't wait to hear it.
This year, KBLA Talk 1580 continues its annual partnership with the Empowerment Congress for a community celebration and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower. This year's theme is resilience in the face of chaos.
Can't wait to see what's up next.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique DePrima, with a luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most impactful Black women leaders in Los Angeles, and you're invited to join.
This is it.
All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA!
We love you. Love you.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PUSH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PUSH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PUSH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So first up, you know how this goes down. If at any point you want to get in on this conversation, 800-920-1580. Of course, we're on all social media, KBLA 1580. And there's an app. Download the app. Take us with you on the go. You can get in on that YouTube chat. They're already chatting as they do. Getting it started. Shout out to them. We appreciate them. And, of course, all of the things. Now, remember, 800-920-1580. That is going to be important because, as I mentioned, we are giving away 2 tickets to the Hollywood Bowl to see Earth, Wind, and Fire. I know you don't want to miss that. Under the stars, summer nights, a little bit of fireworks, a little bit of ambiance. It's a good time. Andy?
I got some bad news to give.
Uh-oh. What's that?
Now, there's two individuals that we love dearly. But I'm sorry, you individuals cannot win this go-around. You guys are on a 30-day, you know what I'm saying, suspension, so to speak. Brother Phillips, you already know. We love you. Brother Eric, we love you. You already know. But you cannot win these tickets this go-around. We got to give opportunities for some others. So, just wanted to put that out there.
These are facts, so we appreciate that. So we're going to get into that in a little bit. But before we do, right, let's talk about what's going on with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, it was just announced a little shortly before we got on air here that the Lakers' majority ownership, the Buss family, is not selling, sold, already done, basically, the, second winningest franchise in NBA history, soon to be back in first place, I'm just saying, for a record $10 billion, right? $10 billion. Now, we remember when the Clippers broke through and were for sale in, 2014 after the Donald Sterling incident, and we thought, $2 billion, wow. The Clippers are going for $2 billion. What's about to happen here? And we see it. The Lakers, I think, were one of the last family-owned franchises with a, single owner, majority ownership. That model is fast becoming outdated just because money, risk, what it's cost. We are already at the point of $200 million players contracts, which seems crazy to me. I remember the first $100 million contract with Kevin Garnett, right? Wasn't it him?
The first, I believe, was Juwan Howard or Alonzo to crack $100 million. I know because I was with Alonzo that weekend.
Okay.
And he was on the cover of USA Today complaining, why are they putting my money on the front page? But he was either the first or second because Shaq got his deal after them.
Right. So almost 30 years later, here we are with $200 million players and $10 billion franchise deals. And we watched the Lakers opening story play out on Winning Time on HBO, which still is one of my most favorite shows ever. And so DH, talk to us about this deal. What do you think?
Yeah. Hey.
Theme music, we got to get it. Because it's the West Side. Woo! Damon Haley, entrepreneur, business strategist, author.
Jenny Buss getting that cheddar.
Co-owner of Glow and Flow Beauty in Inglewood and Hawthorne. Slay Hair. Shout out to Slay Hair Ponytails. I'm trying to get one of those.
We're going to get you one of those.
Okay.
Shout out to Dr. Buss for once.
Yeah.
For starters, I think he bought it for $65 million or something like that, and now to parlay it and kick it into the $10 billion range, and he had everything to do with signing Magic and Showtime and everything that the Lakers are.
Not just the Lakers. I feel like with the NBA overall, he was the first one to bring dancers in. He brought the celebrities into the courtside seats. People also don't speak enough about what he did for regional sports and that deal with the cable companies. He started that whole operation and plan, which brought a lot more money into the equation. He set up the modern NBA model, the Forum Club. The Forum Club.
Don't make me think about them days.
The Forum Club.
Yeah.
Listen, I was not of age to visit in the heyday, but my little experiences when I could just imagine what was going on, during winning time.
Well, I would say we can talk about Forum Club offline because that's when I first started at Nike, and I sat at the table and dined many nights with Dr. Buss, and all the money around the Forum, around the Lakers and the Forum. And you're right, Dr. Buss started it all with him and Irv, Magic and all that. He started what we know of today. So just shout out to him. But in terms of the deal, I think that because she's one of the last ones, and I just say Jeannie, but it's a family-owned business. But we
remember what was going on when Jeannie wasn't kind of at the helm.
Yeah,
it's another conversation, though.
But I think that now these private equity firms are coming in, and it's a forever business now. It's kind of like going from this is more like an IPO. She's a family-owned business, and now it's coming into the realm of big business. So $10 billion is nothing when you talk about a lifetime business. So now it will shift because it's going into it's going into an equity fund of sorts. It's still privately held, but it's big dollars. So Mark Walter, who's buying it now, he got the Dodgers. They got a piece of the Sparks.
LA Football Club as well.
LA Football Club. So Irv's part of that. Magic's part of that, and probably will have a major hand in the Lakers going forward. Probably.
Well, certainly will be a face again, I believe, with the franchise. You have to.
Part of the ownership group. Yeah, he does it with every team he owns. So, but I think that for the Bucks, they still gonna own, I think, 15% if I read correctly, and the group the original Staples group. They own some too.
They do about 5%.
Yeah.
Do you think? Because I also see with the Intuit Dome opening, and that building has some incredible things going on inside of it. Some very innovative things as far as technology and the way that it functions. And Staples is looking a little. And they've done some upgrade. I'm sorry, it's not Staples anymore. It's crypto.
Yeah, crypto,
but they've done. I refuse. But they've done some updates. But this is also an infusion of cash all the way around. A bigger investment that the Bus family probably could compete with on their own at this point.
Well, no. Well, I know that Mark Walters' group can definitely they can tear down crypto and rebuild it if they would want to do that in time for the Olympics, obviously. But it does allow for the Bus family. That's just where their money was, and their wealth was actually tied up in the team. Now they have cash,
so they can do more things. Yes.
Well, they can, but now they're gonna take a back seat, so to speak. They can keep their money, and now the big machinery is gonna go. The private equity folks are going to say, okay, do we need a new location? Because we need the hottest. We need our own Intuit because Staples is like 25 years old now.
Right.
So it's hard. It's like moving to a new house. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if there's another build out. It has to be.
I would think so. And just in looking at what the Intuit Dome did, and that build went rather quickly if you think about it. In terms of what we've seen before.
Oh yeah, so that's the first thing. But I think that once again, the Bus family's going to be okay. They'll still keep about 15%, but that majority owner, what they've done with the Dodgers in terms of being able to deal with luxury tax and all that kind of stuff, you're going to have stars. You're going to have a winner in LA because I don't think the Bus family could afford.
That is
a
very
winner,
fair.
like the Golden State guys. They rich, they tech, so they can be okay with that first apron. And I'm talking about collective bargaining agreement now, but they okay with paying a Draymond, and a Steph and a Jimmy Butler. The Lakers don't have that kind of. Bus don't have deep pockets, but now L.A. Lakers have deep pockets. Now I feel better about them winning.
That changes a lot for them. The chat has a lot to add on this topic. Giandra was here, says, I was driving to Century on Century today. They are already building the new Marriott across from the casino. Crazy. So, could the Lakers make their move back to the City of Champions, or do you think that they'll head out someplace else? That would be an interesting thing to see. DJ Black 909 says, wow, never thought I would see the day Lakers being sold. Sad to see the Bus family not keep it in the family. Must be too much stress and time. I hate when new owners come in and change the entire franchise. Time will tell going forward. I am of the mindset like you, Damon. I think that this will be good for the Lakers, and you have the template of how quickly the Dodgers turned around, much like the Lakers, always right there, right on the cusp of turning it over, and then a lot of heartbreak for various reasons. And then we see in a relatively short time period, we had one visit to the finals or the championship series, and then we won later on, not too long later. So I feel like the Lakers are right there too.
Well, I think when we talk about the culture is okay because of who's part of the ownership group.
Magic.
Irv, Magic is part of that ownership group, and I believe he will tastefully reconcile whatever it was that happened when he exited a couple years ago.
Have the conversation with LeBron.
Well,
he and Jeannie have already talked. They've already kind of went through that.
he's part of that, but he's the one who got LeBron.
Right.
No mistake. I was over at the Lakers facility 2 days before a collective bargaining agreement in 2018 and basically they were like, Damon, we're going to get LeBron. It's going to be over. And they were right. They got him and ticket sales and all that kind of stuff. So having Irv move around, and then he can still get free agents. Jeannie couldn't get, and Rob couldn't get free agents.
This is true.
So I think that the Lakers are in great hands. It's more money to maneuver, and you got Irv back in play. No shade on Rob. Go blue, go Wolverines. My Wolverine brother Rob, he's cool, but I see it as a great thing. They gonna bring some surprises, and it's gonna be great for LA.
I think so as well. DJ Black 909 says Mark Walters should buy the Raiders next and move them back to Oakland. Why? The Raiders are doing quite well, I believe, in Vegas, and they have kicked off a chain of events as well. It started with the women, in the NHL, actually. The Knights.
The Knights, yeah.
The Knights,
Aces.
and they won a title, and then the Aces, and from there, everything else is in place. There'll be an NBA team there soon enough.
It will. It will. I think that the Raiders will get purchased by a private equity entity. Well, football is harder to do it, to be an instant winner. It's just harder because it's more players and all that kind of stuff. But I do think that somebody will buy him. I mean, Mark Davis, he's just holding on for his dad, but pretty soon, I don't think he has any kids or anything like that. So that play is going to go. It's easier for football because the stress on winning and the dynamic of winning is different.
So Giandra has a question for you. She says, is there an heir apparent in the Buss family to take it to the next level? Jeannie is staying on to represent the Board of Governors, I guess, in her position is that for the league.
I do not think there's an heir apparent in the Buss family to take it to the next level, unless there's one of the brothers have got a tech company that they've sold for $4 billion. I mean, it really takes money, it takes resource, and it's just more. It's like even Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban took his tech money with Dallas, bought it, took it as far as he could, and then he gave it to other entities with just more resource. So I think that the way sports is expanding and the league is expanding, you need a team. You need a conglomerate of sorts. And I don't know if Jeannie has been that type of owner to go and get best, brightest talent and her own funding sources to really keep it going. I think she's done a great job. They got a championship in 2020 or something like that.
Yep, they got a championship in 2020. They had the Apple TV document. Well, no, that was Magic. But they had a Hulu documentary that they put out in addition to the Netflix deal that she brokered that basically is about her life, running point with, is it Kate? I can't remember. Kate Hudson.
Oh, yeah.
Kate Hudson.
And then, you look at any business at this point, it's privately held. I mean, it's publicly held, and, Sam Walton and the family ain't running Walmart.
Right.
So it's just the way it works. It's that we're experiencing an evolution of sports franchise ownership, how it's just changing to be more of a public company. It's not a small shop anymore.
Indeed. All right. Now's the time. The Legends, Earth, Wind, and Fire, taking over the Hollywood Bowl July 2nd through 4th for the 4th of July Fireworks Spectacular. That's 3 nights of classics, September, Shining Star, all the jams. It's going to be like fireworks in the night sky. Super romantic. Hollywood Bowl is one of my favorite places to take in a concert. So we are giving away a pair of tickets. Call in right now. 800-920-1580, and you're going to see Earth, Wind, and Fire at the Hollywood Bowl. When we come forward, we're going to get into Wendy Williams and how she said, even though her ex has filed a lawsuit, a $250 million lawsuit, maybe 60, she says no, she's not involved in this foolishness. So we'll get into all of those details and more on the other side.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. R. Kelly was hospitalized last week after a reported medication overdose and collapse. He spent 2 days under observation. His lawyers are pushing for home confinement.
Trying to kill Mr. Kelly as a means of covering up the fact that the Bureau of Prisons itself has been engaged in crimes against Robert Kelly throughout the course of the investigation of his cases.
His attorney even questioned if prison officials are trying to kill him. Black Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown is opposing a Department of Energy plan to roll back civil rights protections. He says the proposed changes would weaken safeguards against race, sex, and disability discrimination in federally funded programs. And a man is in custody after being caught near Black Memphis, Tennessee Mayor Paul Young's home with a taser, rope, and duct tape. Police say 25-year-old Trenton Abston was seen on surveillance heading toward the house. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Crowded in Pasadena, East 210, leaving Mountain all the way to Citrus. It's tough in Irvine, 5 northbound. From Jeffrey Road as you continue ahead towards Harbor and Anaheim. Also crowding up in Irvine on the 405 northbound from the 133 freeway in stretches to Westminster Boulevard. Tough on the 710. We're looking now to southbound. This is out of East LA from the 60. You're on the brakes ahead, looking a lot better by the time you make your way to Florence.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Is this the takeover? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Indiana Pacers have a major injury concern heading into a must-win situation for Game 6 Thursday night in the NBA Finals. Point guard Tyrese Halliburton has a strained right calf. The Pacers aren't sure if he'll be able to play. Halliburton labored through the pain in the Pacers' loss in Game 5 at Oklahoma City. He was 0 for 6 in shot attempts in 36 minutes and finished with only 4 points, all from the free throw line. OKC has a 3-2 lead in the best-of-7 finals. The LA Sparks continue to struggle. They were blown out at home Tuesday night by Seattle, a 31-point loss. At 4-9, the Sparks are one of 7 WNBA teams below 500. 3 HBCU baseball players were invited to this week's Major League Baseball Draft Combine in Phoenix. Infielder Juan Cruz of Alabama State, Florida A&M catcher Brody Popo, and Southern University outfielder Cardell Thibodeau. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
The revolution will not be televised.
What's up? It is Killer Mike, also known as Michael Render, and I'm encouraging you to listen to more, not less, of Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Senator Nina Turner on KBLA Talk 1580.
JP Morgan Chase offers tips for the local business owners in 2025. Small business landscape is ever changing, and the Los Angeles market is no exception. A startup or legacy business, revisiting your mission statement and recalibrating offerings can renew opportunities for growth and innovations. Programs like Chase for Business Coaching for Impact gives entrepreneurs access to expert guidance. helping you streamline operations, strategize your growth, and navigate complex challenges. Businesses with a clear sense of purpose can navigate any challenge effectively, but also build stronger customer loyalty. Visit chase.com/coaching for impact for more information. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply. Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text EQUAL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text EQUAL to 321-321. That's EQUAL to 321-321.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. Giving you a little classic Jimi Hendrix because we got range. Just because it's Wednesday and it's Black Music Month. So that extends to so many places. And it is important. You know, it's actually one of Andy's goals to introduce you to those deep cuts or artists you might not be familiar with, might not regularly have in your musical rotation. But you can make this, add it to your library, add it to your knowledge mix, because Jimmy's guitar skills, him laying it on tracks, is legendary and someone that we talk about in passing but probably don't know a great deal about. So tap into his library, get into it. All right, you were locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm not alone here. Let me slow down. I'm with Damon Haley, entrepreneur, strategist. It is All Up in the Business Wednesdays, and we have been breaking down, the Lakers' legacy, the $10 billion sale of the majority ownership of the team, along with, the legacy of Debbie Allen. That was very important. And what she has done not only for the city, but professionally. So we're excited to see her honored. And now we're going to get into, one of our favorites, and it involves a bombshell $250 million lawsuit that Wendy is distancing herself from. It's been filed by her ex-husband, Kevin Hunter. You know, there's been some questions about Kevin's intent with things over the years. This is no different, but basically he has filed it against Wendy's court-appointed guardian, Sabrina Morsi, Wells Fargo, and others. The lawsuit is alleging abuse, medical neglect, unlawful isolation, and financial mismanagement under her guardianship. Now, this probably stems from the fact that in their divorce, I think Kevin was owed some monies or was part ownership of the Wendy Williams show in some form or fashion, the production company as EP or something, and that money has not been available to him through this guardianship for a variety of reasons. So perhaps that is what encouraged him to do this. Now, the thing that is not lost on anyone is some of these things have been alleged by Wendy's family members and the unfair conditions under which she is in this guardianship, and they are working towards getting her released from it. However, Wendy says she has nothing to do with Kevin's lawsuit. According to TMZ, Wendy released a statement saying, just that, I have nothing to do with his lawsuit. She says it's a money grab. The suit was filed in New York and lists 22 counts ranging from defamation to professional malpractice, and claims that Wendy was coerced into this guardianship in 2022 when Wells Fargo froze her account due to suspicious activity. We know that activity was linked to her son and some of his expenses that he was putting on her account. And that's kind of what got us kicked off on this path. Now, Kevin Sr. claims that she is over-medicated, being kept isolated, and the staff has assisted at the assisted living facility she's at, secretly sold photos of her. But Wendy's stance is pretty clear. This is his drama, not hers. Again, he is using information that Wendy herself and family members have accused the guardian of, but they have not taken these steps. So the question you have to ask is why? The suit claims that Wendy was found alert and oriented in March 2025. She mentioned that through various entities on social media that she was not incapacitated in the way that initially was suspected, but we kind of haven't seen anything since then. So if this is true, this case could potentially crack open the way for the conservatorship and the guardianship to go away. However, once again, what are Kevin's motives? We'll have to see how this all plays out. You know, still prayers for Wendy. It's complicated because it just is, you know, a lot rides on what happens with it, but Kevin is not doing it because he wants to see the betterment of Wendy, as most people think. Fahima in the chat says Kevin is suing because the current situation is prohibiting him from exploiting her too. Sounds about right. And Morris Phillips says, is Kevin the one that broke Wendy's heart? Yeah. He did, you know, cheat and have a baby. So sometimes that's how it goes. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. We have Damon Haley, strategist and entrepreneur here. We're getting all up in the business of entertainment and sports, plus more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Catch Prep is now enrolling for summer credit recovery in fall 2025. As South Los Angeles' top-performing high school in English, math, and college access, Catch Prep is welcoming all 9th through 12th graders to enroll now. Catch Prep offers a small, supportive, and safe learning environment to help all students succeed, so that all students feel valued, respected, and motivated to reach their full potential. For the past 20 years, Catch Prep has helped more students of color gain admission to top-tier universities, with our graduating seniors earning a total of $3 million in scholarships, more than any other school in Los Angeles. We are dedicated to helping all students turn your college dreams into reality. Catch Prep is now enrolling. Visit us online at catchhighschool.com or call 323-293-3917. Space is limited. Please enroll now for summer credit recovery and fall 2025. Call 323-293-3917 or enroll today at catchhighschool.com.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
May 6th was World Asthma Day, and it's a critical time to raise awareness about your asthma. Did you know that Black Americans are approximately 5 times more likely than white Americans to visit the emergency department due to their asthma? Managing your asthma is possible with regular checkups, avoiding known triggers, using prescribed medications correctly, and creating an asthma action plan with your healthcare professional. An action plan is a personalized plan you create with your doctor that shows you what to do and what medications to take to help control your asthma when you're having a hard time breathing or having an asthma attack. Stay aware, have a plan, because your health matters. For more tips and resources on managing your asthma, visit luma-edu.com. luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So, listen, we got a caller, one of our favorites, Eric from Carson. Welcome in, Eric. How's your Wednesday?
It's going good, Jill. How's it going?
Amazing. What's going on? Talk to us.
I wanted to make a quick statement and ask you a question about a topic you discussed yesterday about Tyler Perry.
Okay.
I noticed a similarity between Perry and Diddy, where they're both, powerful black men. And, I used to be a regular viewer of The Oval, and the show that the actor that you mentioned yesterday, I think his name was Derek
Dixon.
And Derek Dixon. And so, why would a man of Tyler's caliber be associated with a C-list actor? And if he was going to associate with this person, why wouldn't he require a non-disclosure statement? And my question is, whether we're talking about Tyler Perry or we're talking about Diddy, we don't see black men getting caught up in this drama, meaning escorts, all this kind of stuff. I'm not saying they don't exist, but everybody seems to be non-black. What do you think?
Well, so there's a lot there. Let's not talk about Tyler Perry. Let's talk about a successful media-owning individual like a Puffy, like a Tyler, like a back in the day Dame Dash or Irv Gotti, Suge Knight. Let's just talk about power and the entertainment industry, okay? So one, the majority of people you interact with are not going to be on your level. That's just the starting point. They're not going to have as much money as you. They're not going to have as much power as you if you are running an entity as such. The reality of any business is probably the main guts, the day-to-day, the execution is going to be from people in far less life experience, work experience than you. So it is not unrealistic to say that why are you working with this undiscovered artist, this undiscovered talent? That is part of what you do. You take raw talent and you help develop it into something else, something bigger, something greater, something with mass appeal. That is what a brand architect, no matter if you're talking TV, film, music, radio, whatever the outlet is, you are taking something raw and creating a palpable product. Not that these people are products, they're definitely individuals. So you're going to interact with people at all levels, at all points. Second, I'm sure there was some sort of NDA in place for the business portion of it, but let's be clear, NDAs technically do not cover illegal activity. So while that is helpful, let's say in a situation, maybe with someone like Diddy, if you have, certain habits that are left of center that you may want to keep personal, that's a little different. But again, the illegal aspect, an NDA is really more of a comfort to try and scare someone that doesn't have any money to pay the cost of talking about it. That's all that is, right? So it wouldn't have helped here. Now, we're not talking about Tyler. Puffy's always on trial. But a man of power or a woman of power, an individual in power, right? They know what the danger zones are, the hot zones are, but they have these habits. Sometimes you get drunk with a little bit of power. Sometimes you recognize that access or money covers a lot of ugly places and ugly things or inconvenient things even. So with that having been said, you need to interact with these people to keep yourself fresh, to keep yourself in the mix, to help you do what you do and sell the product that you do. The part that needs to be checked are your habits. We spoke about this last night in brief. First, and most importantly, we probably should go back to, the old adage, don't eat where you go to the bathroom. Don't mix business and pleasure. It makes things a lot cleaner. Not saying that gives you a license to be disrespectful or abusive otherwise, but when you mix business and pleasure, those power dynamics show up. And it might have been all good, perfectly okay, everything was cool, but then it's not. Then it becomes a question of, well, were they coerced? Or was this just how they were feeling? And it's hard to say because it's already under the guise of something that is, not really where you're allowed to freely speak. Even if you aren't in an intimate relationship or closer than close, you can't really have a free reigning conversation with your superior, can you? You can. No. But there are consequences that everyone may not be ready to deal with. So I think that there are a lot of things in play that you as an individual, I see Fahima mentioning Harvey Weinstein in the chat, R. Kelly. These are choices that these individuals made in connection with the power that comes from whatever business or whatever the situation is that they may have legitimately built. They are now involving things that are not appropriate, and it's a reason why they tell you it's a danger zone and to stay out of there. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't, Tyler says it's a shakedown. It very well could have been, but sometimes this is what happens when you get too friendly with people that you are supposed to have a business relationship with, and they are not in a position to deal with you on equal measure. So, I mean, that's the long and the short of it. There's no, are these individuals being taken down and taken care of because they have too much power? Maybe, but if they didn't put themselves in certain positions, that thing in particular would not be able to be created and used against them. That's it. That's all. Thank you for calling, Eric. We always appreciate your call. All right. So, DHU, do you have anything to add on that?
No, you covered it pretty nicely. I would say it's funny when all this stuff went down, I had to ask myself, to all the women that work with me, did I ever do anything inappropriate? Because I talk a lot of crap, to everybody. And the biggest, I did uncover that one person that worked in my agency for 13 years out of everybody was inappropriate. Because a couple of them told me, and I was disappointed they didn't tell me. But they said, "Oh, I can handle. We can. He was,
But I think what men, because we had a conversation about this with Cam Newton the other night, and some comments he said, and I was kind of like, on one hand, I don't understand how he could be that oblivious, but when women are kind of trained, developed, nurtured to be considerate of everyone in the room. How this would affect this one, how this affects this other person. And men aren't exactly reared in that mindset. That is not kind of what they're brought up to consider, I think, in that nature.
I can agree with that on average.
Right. I'm not saying they aren't considerate or they don't think of people.
Like I said, we're not talking about exceptions, but on average, I would agree with that. And, it's the interesting thing I learned when I did go back to all the ladies. They said, oh, no, you give everybody crap, so you're consistent. That made me feel even worse, that they felt like that. But I do think you're right. I mean, I think I don't know what it is. I haven't read up on it. I heard about it. But it's kind of like, once again, I go back to the bit, $250 million? That's the number you want? I mean, what did he do for $250 million? Now, hey, life is priceless. Emotions are priceless. But once again, if I'm in that jury room and I have to award something, you got to really, really tell me that you endured $250 million worth of.
Especially considering since, there are numbers and things and situations out there now. If Cassie settled for $20 million.
With video and all
with
that.
Video of her abuse and a lot of other craziness surrounding it, whether you think she was with it for part of the time or what have you. If she and her pain and suffering was $20 million, and I understand you pick a bigger figure to lock in a number that you really want, but $250 million is a great deal.
Well, because let me be clear to the listeners. Okay, there's getting the judgment in your favor. Okay, that means that yes, and then the award is something different. So I'm only talking about the award if I'm in the jury scenario. So okay, he did it. Now I gotta see why $250 million.
Right.
And so that's the kind of stuff I go to. So if you're guilty, okay, you're guilty, but we still got to decide how much time does somebody get or how much money.
I mean, it's a lot happening out here, a lot going on. Morris Phillips in the chat says, never mix business responsibilities with sex. It's too expensive. Fahima says, some of the things people said and did yesterday are totally unacceptable today. These are facts, the way that we function, the type of jokes you can tell, the type of things you can let slide. It's a totally different world. I remember when I was working at a company and one of my coworkers, he was a VP, was like, you look nice today, but I'm making it clear I'm not harassing you and saying that. Are you okay with it? And that felt like a lot to me, but I understood to a degree why he would approach it in that manner because, the block is hot sometimes. So,
and I would say I got that kind of training when I started Chevron in the early 90s. I couldn't say you look good. I'd have to talk about the garment or the thing.
Right. That shirt is nice. Those shoes look
so,
really nice.
So that was a male-dominated, aggressive environment with an oil company, and they trained you up real quickly on how you can address women and all of that. So the block been hot for a while.
It has been, but I think, what people forget about is entertainment. One of the reasons why people want to work in it, in addition to obviously the glamour, the lifestyle, whatever, is the sort of lax, fun environment. that is
a lot of after five activity.
A lot of after five activities that involve, a lot of varied things that you just got to kind of go with the flow.
Because there's 3 levels, right? There's 9 to 5. Then there's like 5 to 11. And then there's after 11 that's just crazy,
And with that, I say, listen, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m., you know what it is. Make sure you tune in here to get your entertainment news, updates, your headlines, what's burning down social media. Catch Damon Haley everywhere on social media at Damon Haley. Hit up Glow and Flow Beauty, Inglewood, and Hawthorne. Slay Hair, 3 Ys, online. A lot to check out there. I'm Jill Munroe, Stiletto Jill everywhere. Up next is the voice of reason, Zoe Williams. I'll get at you tomorrow. Shout out to our winner of the Earth, Wind, and Fire tickets as well.
I want the rap, homie, get out the trap house. I want the power to be able to rap about what I rap about. Black child, God-loving textiles, point blank death smile, Steph Curry projectile. I saw the goal from 8 Mile. Every stone you threw, I picked it up and built a powerhouse. Caught a case, I got murder in my profile. Still billing me, see that's just the appeal of me. Respect on my name, why y'all so emotional? Power.
I feel your energy, hey, it's coming.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. The NAACP is not inviting President Trump to its annual convention, marking the first time a sitting president will not be asked to attend. CEO Derek Johnson said President Trump is attacking democracy and civil rights.